That's a new record. Usually takes us 10 minutes to get kicked out of a palace.
The Legend of Vox Machina is an animated TV series released on Amazon Prime and based on the popular web series Critical Role. Set in the world of Exandria, we follow a group of unlikely heroes, and what starts as a simple job for some quick coin quickly escalates into confrontations they could never have imagined. So, is Legend of Vox Machina up there with great animated shows like Arcane and Invincible, or is it going to be another letdown in the Dungeons and Dragons genre? Vox Machina is a great show for fans of Dungeons and Dragons, but it's also done in a way that's easy to start watching for anyone that's never played a tabletop game. The show starts out with us being introduced to a ragtag group of heroes that make up the group Vox Machina. Now I'll admit, the characters lean heavily into Dungeons and Dragons tropes, such as Scanlan, a stereotypically horny bard, or Grog, a kind-hearted barbarian with very little intelligence, but it works in the context of the show. However, these aren't just one-dimensional characters, they each have well-developed backstories, unique personalities, strengths and flaws. The characters' motivations changes over time, and each have moments of weakness where they have to make compromising choices. None of the characters feel sidelined throughout the 3 seasons, and they all have their own unique, well-crafted character arcs, and not just defined by the role they play in the group, but rather they're defined by their internal struggles and past traumas. Now, if you're a fan of D&D, throughout the series you'll notice iconic spells, class archetypes and monsters from the game. And what I love most is how they take aspects from the game, such as gaining new abilities when you level up, and implements them seamlessly into the story. These moments of growth feel natural and story driven, whilst being authentic to Dungeons and Dragons. Another thing that I love about the show is how you can clearly see moments when the characters would have passed or failed a role in the game, and how those outcomes are creatively shown on screen. It adds that authentic touch for Dungeons and Dragons fans. But don't worry, if you've never played D&D, Vox Machina is a great show by its own rights. Now, I'm not going to go into the story or plot too much because I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I will tell you this. Season 1 introduces you to the world of Exandria, setting the stage for a larger narrative while subtly hinting at deeper mysteries. Then, in Season 2, the stakes are significantly raised as the team faces increasingly dangerous enemies, forcing them to confront both physical and emotional challenges. The plot in Season 2 becomes darker and more complex, with each episode keeping you hooked and engaged. And I recently watched Season 3, which takes the story to new heights, with monumental stakes and conflicts that feel world-altering. And it also provides a rewarding payoff for the character development and the world building established in the previous seasons. So, what about the animation throughout the show? Is it on point like Arcane and the Invincible series? Or is it going to be just another mediocre animated show like the Tomb Raider series?
Jonah!
Well, it's no Arcane or Attack on Titan, I'll tell you that, but the animation is definitely up there with the likes of Invincible. The animation captures the world of Exandria with amazing detail. From the landscapes to dark, ominous dungeons, the world feels immersive and alive. And unlike the animated Tomb Raider series, the action sequences are where the animation really shines. The choreography is fluid and engaging, and the fight scenes are fast-paced and intense, with smooth movements and high-quality effects. Also, as the series progresses throughout each season, the animation quality continues to improve, with more refined details, enhanced textures and smoother movements. The visuals and cinematography in Vox Machina are really well done, and they're made even more impactful by the music and sound effects, which add layers of depth to each scene. Now, I'm not saying that the show's perfect. Some of the dialogue and Scanlan's music can be a little cheesy, and even though the show is clearly tailored to a more adult audience, with sexual scenes, blood, death and horror, some of the humour can feel a little childish sometimes. Now, this show isn't going to be for everyone. It just isn't. But overall, the characters are well developed, the action is intense, and for the most part, the humour often strikes a good balance with emotional moments. In my opinion, The Legend of Vox Machina is definitely worth a watch if you're into animated shows like Invincible, fantasy world settings, or the Dungeons and Dragons universe. Until next time peeps, stay frosty.